Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for the Manchester United Southampton game tonight. So I think Man United will win 2-1. I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes to score. I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford to score. And I think Danny Ings will score for Southampton. So that's my prediction. Now, it's very imperative that we get back to winning ways. We are winless in our last two league games. Obviously, we recently drew 0-0 with Arsenal. And we lost 2-1 to Sheffield United. We have got a good record against Southampton. Like I said, the last time Southampton beat us was back in January 2016. They beat us 1-0 at Old Trafford. So we haven't lost to them in like our last 9 meetings. Obviously the game at Old Trafford last season was 2-2. We did beat them at St Mary's earlier on this season 3-2. We overcame a 2-goal deficit. Southampton have been in a bad vein of form recently. They have lost their last 3 games in the league in a row. But I think, earlier on this season, Southampton were very, very consistent. Southampton have actually been good since they lost 9-0 to Leicester. And Ralph Hasenhüttl has done a pretty good job at Southampton. I thought Southampton were also consistent when they had Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino only enjoyed a short tenure with them, but Pochettino guided them to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. And, Southampton have got some good players in their team. Like I said, Danny Ings, he's one of their key players. He could cause us problems tonight. Stuart Armstrong's one of their key players. Got that Nathan Redmond. He could cause us problems. They've got that Bednarak, Obafemi. I think he's out with injuries, Obafemi. They've got Che Adams. He'll probably be in contention to play tonight for Southampton. They've also got that Shane Long. I think James Ward-Prowse is a good player. I think he's going to be involved tonight. Ryan Bertrand, very, very good left back. I presume he's going to be in contention to play tonight. Southampton have got injuries though, haven't they? They've got that Vestergaard out with injury. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters out with injury. Salisu's out with injury. Teller's been out with injury. They've got Smallbone out with injury for the season. And let's put into the equation, Southampton have let quite a few of their players go in recent years, like I mentioned on the preview. Obviously, they lost Cedric Soares to Arsenal. They lost Holberg, to Tottenham. They lost Virgil van Dijk quite a few years ago to Liverpool. They lost Dejan Lovren. They lost Klein. They lost Lallana. They lost Sadio Mane. To be honest with you, Liverpool have done very, very good business with Southampton in recent years. They also let Mario Lemina go out on loan. We haven't been good at Old Trafford this season. I think we've actually lost 5 games at Old Trafford now in the Premier League this season. And after Southampton, we play Everton. That's at the weekend, and that's going to be another tough game. It'll be the third time we'll be playing Everton this season because we've already played them twice so far this season. We've beaten them twice. Beating them 3-1 in the league, and we're beating them 2-0 in the EFL Cup quarter final. Now, I was disappointed that we didn't beat Arsenal recently. Analysing the game, probably a draw was a fair result. You know, Solskjaer gave his perception on that game against Arsenal, and he felt as though we had the bigger chances to win the game, but he said it was a decent performance by Man United. And you know, we did have some chances in that game against Arsenal. You know, Cavani had 2 fantastic chances, should have converted at least one of them. Marcus Rashford carved a few openings in that first half. You know, he had chances, but every time Marcus Rashford got in front of goal, his decision making was poor, his passing was poor, and his finishing was very, very poor. So he was poor against Arsenal, was Rashford. Rashford has been a bit out of form though recently, so he needs to get back to his best. Bruno Fernandes weren't brilliant against Arsenal, but as the game went on, he grew into the game and he did have a good chance. Bruno Fernandes needs to get back to his best form because he's been a bit out of form recently. Not so long ago, it was Bruno Fernandes' 12-month anniversary at the club. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes said he's planning on spending many years at Man United. Wan-Bissaka, though, had a good game against Arsenal. Got forward well at times. Defensively, he was good. And he did have a good chance that just went wide. But Arsenal also had their chances in the game. You know, they had a good chance from Willian. Very good block from Bissaka. Lacazette, you know, had a good chance, hit the crossbar. Emil Smith-Rowe had a good chance, produced a good save from David De Gea. You know, we have still not yet beaten Arsenal in the league under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And Solskjaer's not yet beaten Mikel Arteta as Man United manager, and they've now had 3 appearances against each other. Mikel Arteta has won 2 and there's been a draw. It was an abysmal performance against Sheffield United. Obviously, we lost 2-1. That was Sheffield United's first win at Old Trafford since 1973. And that was just Sheffield United's second win this season in the Premier League and their first Premier League away win of the season. But we have been exceptional away from home. Don't forget, reflect on that 0-0 draw with Arsenal. We set a new club record. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. So what we've been doing away from home, we haven't been replicating that at home, have we? Now, I did give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, building up to this game against Southampton tonight. Obviously, Solskjaer provided us with an update on Phil Jones. By the way, Phil Jones is staying at Man United. He's going to be given a second chance. Phil Jones has been out for a year with injury. I think he had an operation. I'm surprised. I actually expected Phil Jones to leave. Solskjaer also said he's expecting to face a strong Southampton side tonight, despite the injuries they've got. Solskjaer also spoken about the racial abuse that's being directed to our players, because Marcus Rashford recently got racially abused on social media. Not so long ago, Tuan Zebe and Anthony Martial got racially abused. Solskjaer also revealed that the officials admitted they made 2 mistakes in our 2-1 loss to Sheffield United. So if the decisions had gone our way in that game, we probably wouldn't have lost it. Because obviously Martial had a disallowed goal. I think the reason it was disallowed because it said that Harry Maguire had shoved down Ramsdale, and obviously the build-up to Sheffield United's first goal, Billy Sharp had pushed David De Gea. So there you go. As you all know, the January transfer window is closed. Another disappointing transfer window for Manchester United. We only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. It won't be too long now until we see Amad Diallo Traore in the first team squad. Amad Diallo Traore recently made his debut for the under-23s. He scored twice, and that was against Liverpool. Solskjaer has now endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager. But Solskjaer did say, didn't he, when the transfer window was open, that he wasn't expecting any signings. We let a few players go though in the January transfer window. Obviously we saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We saw Facundo Pellistri go out on loan. We saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah leave the club to join Bayer Leverkusen. Odin Igalo said his farewells to Man United. Tiedemann Menge has gone out on loan. We've loaned quite a few players out. The news on Marcus Rojo. Marcus Rojo has signed for Boca Juniors on a free transfer. I don't think it's official yet. It should be official at some point today. Marcus Rojo was recently spotted at Bocchia's training centre to undergo a medical. Solskjaer did confirm though he was going to be allowed to leave because his contract wasn't going to get extended. Rojo did endure 6.5 years at Man United, made a total of 122 appearances. Actually, the last appearance he made for us was back in November 2019. We got Rojo from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014. Don't forget the second half of last season he was out on loan with Estudiantes. Rojo sustained quite a few injuries as well as a Man United player. Sergio Romero, he could still leave the club because Solskjaer also confirmed that he's free to leave because his contract won't be extended. Romero is our third choice goalkeeper. He's always been our backup goalkeeper anyway. We actually got Romero back in 2015 from Sampdoria, didn't we? So Romero's been at the club over 5 years. I'm expecting more players to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. But Ed Woodward certainly needs to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer transfer window. I don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough in the transfer windows he has enjoyed so far as Man United manager. And don't forget, Woodward has come out several times to show his support for Ole, and he's promised Solskjaer that he will back him. He said towards the end of last year he'll back Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. We have been very, very critical of the board for a while now because the board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. You've had Woodward at the club since 2012. You've had the Glazers at the football club since 2005. I've already given you the 3 areas where Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a midfielder, a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. I think it said that we're looking to make around, 4 or 5 signings this year? Maybe more to complete our squad overhaul. But there has been a lot of players on our agenda. Now, you already know the news on Sergio Ramos, don't you? He could be joining Man United in the summer because there was narratives recently saying that Sergio Ramos wants to join Man United and he's prepared to leave Real Madrid in the summer. He's going to be available on a free transfer because he's not going to be signing a new contract with Real Madrid because Ramos recently rejected a 2-year contract from Real Madrid. If we got Ramos, he'd only be short term because Ramos is 34. But if he came to Man United, do you think he'd be able to replicate what he's done in the years at Real Madrid? Sergio Ramos has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. You know, he's been with them around 16 years now. He's won 22 major honours with them. He's made over 600 appearances in all competitions. Real Madrid paid €27 million for him from Sevilla back in 2005. PSG were the favourites, but Ramos doesn't fancy a move to PSG. Solskjaer has identified his number one priority target for the summer, and that's Jules Koundé. I've been talking with you about him on my recent videos. Jules Koundé plays for Sevilla. His performances for Sevilla have been outstanding this season. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux 18 months ago. He's valued at $60 million. He's got a contract with Sevilla until 2024. He's only 22, so he has got a lot of development in him. I think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Ousmane Dembele, you know the news on him. He says we will attempt to sign Ousmane Dembele if we fail to sign Jadon Sancho again. Now, it said the other week that Man United and Chelsea were monitoring Ousmane Dembele's contract situation at Barcelona, and it said that contract talks had stalled. But now recent narratives are saying that Ousmane Dembele wants to stay at Barca and he's open to a new deal. Ousmane Dembele has been at Barcelona a few years now. He's got a contract with them till 2022. Barcelona got him in a deal worth $135 million from Dortmund back in 2017. The element of concern about Ousmane Dembele is that he is too injury prone. I think there is a chance that we will sign Jadon Sancho in the summer because Borussia Dortmund said that they're expecting to lose Jadon Sancho in the summer. And Sport 1 recently said that Borussia Dortmund are relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. Dortmund are going to be forced to lower their demands because it said they were expecting losses of around 88 million because of the coronavirus pandemic. Ed Woodward and Joe Glazer recently had a row over Jadon Sancho. And Sancho, I think, accidentally stole the captain's armband in Dortmund's game against Augsburg. Sancho was our number one priority target last summer, but Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga. Bill's Christian Falk also spoken about it a lot. But he said last summer that the personal terms had been agreed for Sancho, the agent fees had been agreed, and even a contract had been agreed. But Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline. So there you go. I think there is uncertainty regarding Solskjaer's future at Manchester United. I still don't know if he is the long-term manager. You know, like I said, we've had a couple of disappointing results recently. I certainly think Solskjaer's going to be given at least another season at the football club. This is his second full season at the moment. I think we do deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, like I've said so many times, because he could have easily have been sacked as Man United manager, because we have endured very, very bad periods under him. As far as I'm aware at the moment, there has been no discussions over getting Solskjaer a new contract at Man United. He's got just 18 months left on his current contract. But I think Solskjaer has made good progress at Man United in the last year or so. I think in recent months players have improved and performances have improved. So hopefully the game against Sheffield and Arsenal were just two blips for Man United and we can get back to winning ways tonight. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. You know, we've not yet won a trophy under him, and I don't think we've won a trophy for like 4 years now, is it? Now, the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy because we're into the 5th round of that, and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy, and we've got an outside chance of the league. You know, I don't think we're going to win the league this season. You know, a lot of people are now fancying Manchester City. But I think we'll win another title at some point. I do. You know, maybe next season, maybe next couple of seasons. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. But I think for us to be genuine title contenders, I think we need to make more signings, like I've mentioned.
Charlie,
What?
do you know that thing here? What idiot sent you last night?
Yeah.
Are they ringing you at half 11 something about an online training course?
Yeah.
I was telling Bev about it, and Bev said he should turn around to him and say, why are you buying me a computer? I haven't got one, I can't afford a computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Open thing is. I'll give you that 20 quid later on. I'll give you it today.
No, nah, wash it away later.
I'll give you that 20 quid later on. I'll give you it today later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that innit? Fucking bastard. Yeah, just I can't afford computers out of Universal Credit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why do they send such shitty things like that for fucking dickheads?
But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I think we need more signings. I think we need to start beating the big teams as well, because people say you've got to start beating the big teams if you are to be genuine title contenders. And this season in the league, we haven't proven ourselves against the big 6 sides. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gained some managerial experience, reflecting now on he's been at the club. You know, he's been Man United manager now for over 2 years, hasn't he? There's still a few things he's got to do with the club. You know, he's got to identify his best 11. He's got to give Donny van de Beek more chances. You got to get his selections right persistently. In a lot of games at Man United, he's just been too tactically naive. But there has been some games where he has been tactically flexible, which is good. But, Solskjaer does deserve credit. He really, really does. This season got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He got us to 3 semis last season. Got us qualification for the Champions League last season. And he got us 3rd place. Second highest we've finished since Ferguson. He's got us to the FA Cup 5th round this season. We've got West Ham, which is going to be a tricky game. He's spent over £200 million since he come in, Ollie. Still made good signings despite our reluctance to back him with transfers. A lot of players have departed the club since he got recommended in. He has got rid of a lot of the deadwood, hasn't he? Don't forget Solskjaer is inheriting players from other managerial eras. Actually the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. We have made mistakes since Ferguson left, and that's why we was so inconsistent for so long, up until, this point and all of that. A lot of people believe that we did give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job too early, but we give him the job permanently reflects on what I did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Like I've said to you so many times though, no manager at Man United or no manager in general is going to replicate what Ferguson did. Ferguson brought success to the club. He endured 27 years at Man United, won a total of 38 major honours. But he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the club. So good job Ferguson didn't get sacked in that 4-year period, or wouldn't have had any success. Before Ferguson was inconsistent as well. Weren't good under Ron Atkinson. Franco Farrell got relegated under him back in 74, and that's 1974. And we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness. Didn't Wilf McGuinness enjoy like 18 months at the club? We spent a lot of money since Ferguson left. We spent over £1 billion on players. We must have brought around 36, 37 players in. Paul Pogba, like I've said, there's still a chance he could leave in the summer, but there's also a chance he could stay potentially past the summer. Matic could leave in the summer as well, because Matic obviously isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances, doesn't he? Surprisingly, he's ahead of Donny van der Beek. Could Van der Beek leave in the summer? Juan Mata, he could leave the club in the summer because his contract expires in June, but I think we've got an option to trigger his contract by a further year. Earlier on this season, Juan Mata rejected an $18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia, don't forget. I think Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. But there's a lot of players, that we will keep at the football club, like I've already gone through with you. We'll keep Rashford. I think he's the foreseeable future for Man United. We'll keep Martial for at least this season. Martial's been out of form though this season. This is why he's being criticised. He's had his chances, hasn't converted them. We'll keep Edison Cavani. I think he'll see out his contract at the club. We'll keep Greenwood. I think Greenwood is the foreseeable future for Man United. Bruno Fernandes, I think he's the foreseeable future. Don't forget Bruno Fernandes. He's planning on spending many years at Man United, like I've updated you recently. He's been at the club now just over a year, Fernandes, recently. It was his 12-month anniversary. Fred, I think we'll keep him. I don't know how long for, but he's really, really improving under Ollie. At Tomway, we'll keep him. We'll keep Luke Shaw because he's really, really improving. We'll keep Harry Maguire. We'll keep Bay. Bay's done well since he started playing again. We'll keep Wan-Bissaka. I think we'll keep De Gea for now. De Gea's going to remain our number one for at least this season. We'll keep Dean Henderson because I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number one. Tellez will obviously keep him. We got Tellez last summer. Tellez hasn't played as much as I expected. When Tellez came in, I expected him to be our first choice left back immediately, but surprisingly Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back. But don't forget Tellez had COVID at one point. Obviously, Williams is staying. Daniel James is staying. Solskjaer confirmed he's made a decision on Daniel James's future, but there was rumours of Daniel James leaving, and there was narratives of Brandon Williams going out on loan. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.